20th juz. And we will be covering al-Qasas, which simply means, it comes from the word qissa, same word used in Urdu as well, which means a story. But qasas here signifies that it's a story that has been told in a sequence. There's some sort of order to this story, right? So al-Qasas and then al-Ankabut. Al-Ankabut talks about spider. So al-Ankabut here, it talks about a spider's web and spider's house. You could say Bayt al-Ankabut. But the first one is the story of Musa alayhi salam, and that is the qasas that has been told to the Meccans and also to the Ahlul Kitab, to the Jews and Christians. And so it has twofold value, you could say. One is that the mushrikeen and their mala, the word mala in the Quran is used many times, the leadership, the elites, right? They've been told that look at Fir'aun, look at Pharaoh, and look at the elites, right, of that time and what happened to them. And look at, and on the other hand, after the mushrikeen, it's Ahlul Kitab as well, the people of the book who were knowledgeable about Musa alayhi salam, Moses. The Arabs were not familiar with these details. But the Ahlul Kitab, the people of the book, mainly Jews and the Christians, they were aware of the affairs of Musa alayhi salam. And in it, there's a lesson and there is an indication or ishara for both of these groups. When the prophets, if you look at it, the Al-Quran al-Karim, the prophet that's most talked about in Al-Quran al-Karim is not Prophet Muhammad. Most of the time, Al-Quran is mentioning Musa alayhi salam more than any other prophet. And the reason why, because the life of Musa alayhi salam, Moses, is very similar to the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The life and the mission of both of these prophets is very similar. Musa alayhi salam was given a sharia. Also, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is given a sharia. Musa alayhi salam, he actually had to declare jihad and to fight his way and to lead his nation from Egypt to Mount Sinai and the other place and making a hijrah. The Prophet ﷺ also would have to make a hijrah. The hijrah is not there yet for the Prophet when these ayat were revealed. So there is an indication what's coming next. Musa alayhi salam was born in the year when they were supposed to kill off all the babies. The Prophet ﷺ was a yatim, was an orphan, who wasn't supposed to make it as a big person. Musa alayhi salam, he was raised in the house of the Pharaoh. He was raised in the immediate house, the person that he was going to take away the command from, the leadership from. Prophet ﷺ grew amongst the mala, the leadership of the Abu Jahl, Utbah, Utayba, all these leaders who were there. Abu Lahab, as you mentioned, all these leaders were there. He was raised amongst them, the Prophet ﷺ. And one day it's going to come when it's going to go upside down again, or right side up for these leadership, who are not going to budge. Now, also the Musa alayhi salam, when we listen to the qissa of Musa alayhi salam, he goes out in the wilderness looking for fire, and he finds God talking to him. Right? In it, there is a lesson for the mushrikeen. Look, God or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not announce and send out angels and all the entourage of people to back up who the prophet of that time is. The revelation is given to the prophet, it comes from God. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decides. You have no opinion in the matter of who's going to be the prophet. Because they used to say, why not a leader, why not a rich person, why not a famous person from the two cities, from Ta'if or Mecca? Why an orphan? They couldn't comprehend that message. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching them that this is not for you to decide. Allah knows better than what you do know. And then the miracles of Musa alayhi salam that were given. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is also given a miracle. But what they were asking for, they kept saying, why don't you are given a miracle like Musa alayhi salam. The staff or the hand that comes out shining, right? All these were given, and the punishment that comes, the warnings that come. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was given a miracle that is better than any other prophet that was given. And his miracle is going to last forever. His miracle is something that the people of his time saw, and also the generation after, and the following generation, and the generations after until the day of judgment. And his miracle is the book of Allah that we recite in the Taraweeh prayer. This is the miracle of the Prophet ﷺ. If we don't pay attention to it, we'll lose out, just like those people who were lost in where is the miracle of the Prophet Muhammad? What kind of prophet is this? And the last one is the story in the story of Musa alayhi salam, where the magician, when they come out, they're on one side. They're on the side of Pharaoh. But when they see the results, they know the truth. In fact, the Sahaba, the young and the poor and downtrodden of that society, they would come out. They were on the side of these Malak. They were on the side of the leadership of Quraysh. But then they see the truth. And just like the magicians, they turn and their hearts turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they say, قَالُوا لَا ضَيْرٍ. There is no blame. Go ahead what you want to do with Bilal radiallahu anh, Khabbab ibn al-Ard. They had faith, they had iman in their hearts this time. Similarly, how the magicians, they turned their hearts towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fell in prostration, fell in love with God and His ayat and His miracles and His signs. Similarly, this was the case with believers, and this is what has been notified in that surah. It's a beautiful surah. After Surah Yusuf, if you look through it, this is the surah that gives you the detail of Musa alayhi salam and his life. The other surah that I want to briefly touch upon is the Surah al-Ankabut, or Bayt al-Ankabut as it's referred to, the house of a spider. And in it there are all these tests that the Prophet ﷺ is going through. This is the time, 6th year or so after Hijrah, when the Prophet and his followers are going through a lot of hardship, a lot of persecution that is going through. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He asked the believers, and this is the question that I want to ask and I want to present to you inshallah, in the first few ayat. He says to us, أَحَسِبَ النَّاسُ أَن يَتْرَكُوا أَن يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. Do people think that they're going to be left alone? And just because they say, we believe, and they're not going to be tested. Do you people think that you're just going to be good, going to Jannah, just by saying, oh, we believe in Allah, la ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, oh, don't send us any calamity? Do you think that is the case? And then he says in the next ayah, وَلَقَدْ, for surety, no doubt, فَتَنَّ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ, and we tested those who came before you. فَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ الْكَاذِبِينَ. Why? Because that we would know who are people of truth, those people who are sadiqeen, those people who really believe in their heart, and those people who are simply liars. Those people who simply are show-offs, right? When it becomes difficult, they hop the other boat and they say, oh, it's better being not to be named Muhammad, I'll just come up with some other, right? So this is the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to always test the believers. And us, we have to respond by saying that we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His ayat, practice them and put them through in our life and the lives of our children and those who are around us, and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us tawfiq, to give us this acceptance where He is pleased with us and we are pleased with Him. وَقُولُوا قَوْلِي هَذَا وَاسْتَغْفِرُوا اللَّهَ لِي وَلَكُمْ وَلِسَائِرِ الْمُسْلِمِينَ وَالْمُسْلِمَاتِ وَصَلَّى اللَّهُ وَسَلَّمَ عَلَى